So, today we are going to have a look at the Kraken X53 RGB. And to be quite honest, I'm kinda struggling to determine if this is an upgrade or a downgrade. So what we have here today is the NZXT Kraken X53 RGB all-in-one water cooler. So the newest RGB version of the previous Kraken X53. But before we get into why I'm confused with this product, let's go over the specs. The X53 is a 240mm all-in-one with a 30mm thick radiator. It is compatible with all of the still relevant Intel LGA sockets, including the newest LGA 1200. On Team Red we have support for only AM4 and the TR4s, but keep in mind that there is no Threadripper bracket included. But for all of you who are going with Ryzen, you are good to go. The Ace Attack pump is located behind the water block and can run from 800 to 2800 RPM. The water block comes with a copper plate with some pre-applied thermal paste. On top of everything, we will find the same iconic Kraken Infinity Mirror style design, but this time it can be rotated in order to look perfectly, no matter in what orientation you install the cooler. And can we just take a moment and appreciate how huge this water block is? It says it is 10% larger than the older ones, but damn, these 10% make a difference. All of the RGB in here is being controlled over an internal USB header, so if you have no RGB header, you are still good to go. The tubes are 400mm long with nylon braided sleeves. And to get the heat out, NZXT is including two of their Air RGB 2 120mm fans. And here comes the reason why I'm confused. You see, I do not own a Kraken X53 non-RGB, so the slightly older version. But to compensate that, I read the spec sheet of each and every previous version before I start with the new one. And there is one really big issue that I have with these fans here. Because the original X53 comes with two Air P120 fans, so pressure optimized 2000 RPM fans that blow with 73 CFM at almost 3mm H2O. The X53 RGB on the other hand comes with two Air RGB 2 fans, which push 1500 RPM with 52 CFM at 1.35mm H2O. So even though the Air RGB 2 can operate 3 dBs quieter, which probably comes from the fact that they are spinning at 3/4 the speed, and the fact that they have 2 wings more, but it's half the performance just for some RGB. But the fan performance alone does not reveal the whole picture, like the Alias H240. It was better, but still very far from good. No, you still have to take into account how the pump transports the heat, how efficiently the radiator is able to dissipate it, and many other things. And this may even be crucial with this all-in-one, as NZXT mentioned a new 7th gen Ace Attack pump with better cooling and whatnot, which is not mentioned on the original X53 page. But I do not have a X53, so no way to verify it. Or is there? Well, kinda. I just used my Kraken M22, once with a P120 and then once with the Air RGB 2. And it's kinda bad. Switching to NZXT's RGB fans made the CPU go 5 degrees harder. That's a pretty bad start. But let's not make any conclusions here, because it still may be possible that the new pump performs so good that the radiator wouldn't be able to dissipate the heat anyway, explaining why weaker fans and quieter fans may even be a good thing. But we will see this with the normalized test later on, but before we do that, let's get to the installation part. In contrast to the Kraken M22, the installation is a bit easier for the X53, at least if you're going with AMD. Removing the front portion of the cooler mounting system, screw in the standoffs, replace the Intel holding plate with the AMD one, place the water block on top and screw it down. Easy peasy. For Intel you would have to install the Intel backplate that is marked for your socket, but given the fact that Intel doesn't provide one to begin with and that with AMD you're at least able to reuse the original backplate, the installation is fairly easy, so +1 right here. Once you have the radiator and fans attached somewhere in your case, you are good to go. Wait! We still have a ton of cables to connect. Inside of the box, we will find a PVM221 splitter so that you can run all of your fans over one header. And we will also find this weird thing, but it's actually quite easy. The start of the cable has to go into the water block, the 3-pin header that only has 2 wires attached has to go to the pump header on the mainboard, or any fan header actually, and the SATA cable has to go into SATA. And the last wire in here that is marked with NZXT is meant to pass through the RGB control. So this one is meant to be going into the in-port of one of the fans by using... where is it? By using this extension cable that they also include in the box. And no, you cannot connect the fan directly, they make you use this extension. Now, another plus one for NZXT, because instead of running wires to all of the fans, we have an out port on the fan that we have just connected, and with this little daisy chaining wire thingy, we can connect the out to the in of the other fan. The absolute last step in here is to connect everything to the mainboard in order to use the whole NZXT CAM software thing. And just like with any other Kraken, we can use this little micro USB cable that needs to be connected to the water block with the micro USB and to a USB header on the mainboard. So all in all, the installation is a lot, but it's straightforward and easy. A into B, C into D, and then you're done. So plus one right there. So now, let's quickly put all of this into a rig and see it in action. Okay, so the installation went as smooth as it can be, and I love the fact that they were able to reuse the original AMD bracket. For the design, nice. The 10% bitter water block really shines, and the NZXT Air RGB fans just look amazing. I know, I am pulling air into the case, but this is just for sure. So design overall, in my opinion, you just get what you paid for. Adjusting everything on NZXT CAM is as easy as it gets, and no matter where you put this in, it will look amazing. But what about performance? Of course, we did not test it in here, the fan orientation would be devastating. No, we tested it beforehand on our test bench with a Ryzen 3700X locked at 4.5 GHz. Here we found that the X53 RGB was able to keep the CPU at 72 degrees C. So by 3 degrees, an absolute winner in here. And to make it shine even more, I'm quite happy that we finally have a 240 all-in-one that performs like a 240 all-in-one. 72 degrees is not the best in class, but not by a long shot, but it's already something. But what about that badly performing fan? Well, we have two possibilities right now. First, the fans are actually that bad and everything else is underperforming. Or everything is nicely balanced and you wouldn't get any performance out of this anyway. Well, it's pretty easy to find out. We always redo all of our all-in-one benchmarks with a couple of Arctic P12s. First, we tested the original setup, so simply replace the Air RGB with P12s, and the X53 managed to get the CPU down a tiny bit more to 71 degrees C. Okay, so the fans are not perfect, but how much can we actually squeeze out? With the all-in-one sandwich with twice the original fan amount, the X53 got the 7300X down to 70 degrees C. So from out of the box to completely sandwiched, we are looking at a mere 2 degrees C difference. And that's not really a lot. This simply means that the complete system is almost balanced. 2 degrees is still 2 degrees, and I'm pretty sure that the original P120 fans would have been better in here, but 2 degrees is also pretty near perfection. So compared to other models, yes, NZXT did a pretty good balancing job here. Overall, I think it's good. Of course, it's on the slightly pricier side, but amazing build quality, NZXT cam support, I know, software, but it works. Easy installation, daisy chain everything, RGB controllable over USB header, and it just looks amazing. Performance could have been better, but I think it's okay. So in my opinion, recommendation to whoever wants it for design, but if you aim for pure performance, there are better things. Right now the Kraken is going for around $160 or 160 euros, but I will leave some manufacturing links and affiliate links down in the description below. If you want to know more about the cooler, make sure to check the link in the description to our written review over on our website. Okay, this should be it, but for those who think the Kraken X53 RGB is too expensive, have a look at the Kraken M22. It is less expensive, looks almost the same, and doesn't perform bad for a 120mm.